They just wanted to go back to England. Anything that says Commonwealth is England. So, federal. Then they divided it into, they took those 31 republics and divided it into 50 states. They didn't get your permission to do it. We never gave them any creative ability. I've got all the paperwork on my iPad for the state of Nevada. What created the state of Nevada? 2 signatures over here. 2 people that were over here created the state of Nevada over here. They created the entire state of Nevada out of the state of Arizona. They created New Mexico by stealing half of Texas, from Texas and from Arizona. We're going to call that New Mexico. New Mexico does not exist. Texas borders Arizona. Look at Oregon. Oregon covered Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and a little bit into Wyoming. It's called the Oregon Territory. And the Reconstruction era started in 1859. Oregon was actually the last state, I should say the first state of the Reconstruction era. First state that was created out of what should be Idaho doesn't count. Washington, that was a bunch of counties that sounded like Indians and various Indian nations, and they just wanted to honor George Washington. And they made it Washington. And they created it without any vote of the people. Now, take Albuquerque, for instance. If you were on the river in Albuquerque, and you lived on the east side of the river, and you were a proud Texian who maybe fought one of the battles that created Texas, and somewhere back here they decided to take that part of Texas away and create New Mexico, and they came to you one day and knocked on your door at your house and said, hey, you're a New Mexican now. You'd say, who the hell asked me? I am what I am. I'm a proud Texian. See, there's a difference between a Texian and a Texan, too. Under the Republic of Texas, there were Texians. When the state of it was recreated, they became Texans. You got to understand history and know history. And they took parts of Texas away and gave them to other states. They gave part of it to Oklahoma without a vote of the people. What if you were a proud Texian living in Texas County, Oklahoma? What is now Texas County? It was Texas. So all they did is went over with this little panhandle. I mean, who made that? That doesn't even make sense in the extra survey work that it would have cost. And they just took part of Texas away, for lack of a better term of knowing what to call it. They just said, okay, we'll just call it Texas County. It was already Texas anyway. This way we don't even have to tell the people. They'll still think they live in Texas. I mean, think about how dumb this is. No vote of the people. We are the government. In every state constitution, in Article 1, Section 1, or Article 1, Section 2, it tells you you are. I don't have to, I didn't make this crap up. It's right there, black and white. It's written down. It says what it says. It doesn't say what it doesn't say. It's clear and it's concise in its meaning. That's the law. See, that's the way laws are supposed to work. That way everybody can understand them. What they do. they made things complicated. The more complicated they can make something, the more they can put your blinders on, the more they can control you, and then you're no longer free. And the best slave is the one who believes he's free. Because then you don't even need fences to contain the slaves. You just create the system he works under, and the money he gets paid with, and offer him privileges and benefits to keep him entangled, provide a war flag and teach him to swear an oath to it. I don't swear an oath to anybody but my God anymore. I've taken 3 oaths to this nation, and I will never take an oath to this nation again. I don't have to. I learned I don't have to. I learned it's not important to take an oath to the nation because it's held in trust. All I got to take an oath to is my God, that I will do what he tells me to do to the best of my ability, and when I screw up, I'll get on my knees and repent and ask for forgiveness. And that's all I need to do. And then I'll try and hold this nation in trust, and hold my family in trust, and hold myself in trust, and teach my children to do the same. And hopefully they'll follow. You can't control your kids, I can tell you that. But that's the way it is. So they divided into 50 states, 48 on this part. And we won't count Alaska and Hawaii. And I'll tell you why I don't count Alaska and Hawaii. Because even though they call themselves states, Guam might one day too. They came after the United Nations Treaty was signed. And those folks moved directly from birth as U.S. nationals to becoming a U.S. citizen. Direct. They were U.S. nationals. They were never state nationals. The only way they can be state nationals is self-determination. But they never were, yet they were born in Alaska and Hawaii. They never were. They never had that ability to be. Now we want to import someone into the state national movement. They can declare that status, but they never were. Where people born in these 48, they were state nationals at birth. You were all state nationals at birth. I was a state national between April 20 and 1963, the day I came out of the womb, until the day I was registered on May the 3rd, 1963. And for those days, those 13 days, I was a state national. And then my mama gave me away. She gave me away walking into a Foundland hospital, and into a birthing ward where she became a ward of the state. She signed off on the title as an informant. And the vessel was created. It was sent out to sea, where it was presumed dead, lost at sea, until I should return after my 7th year to claim my minor estate. And then I finally become an adult. And then unfortunately I was in my 40s before I became an adult. See, that's interesting. Because the legal definition of a minor is somebody under the age of 18 or somebody of any age who hasn't claimed their minor estate. Of any age. Okay, 50 states, and then a whole bunch of counties. In fact, a beautiful Republic of Texas on the map over there, that shape, was 36 counties. Now there's 254. Who made that shit? I knew it. She's in the room. He told me it was okay. He told me it was okay.
Pastor,
(3,144 counties in America today. Do you know how many of them are unincorporated? 5. 5 incorporated counties, unincorporated counties. All the rest are incorporated. We got to come out of Babylon. We got to do it at the local level. We ought to be at your city meetings, I didn't mean state, city meetings, town meetings, and you ought to be demanding they unincorporate. Show up at your county commissioners meetings. Don't want to do any county business. I'll tell you what they did in Utah. I fired up a big group up in Utah, and they started showing up at all their city meetings. And by their rules, everybody in the public could talk for 3 minutes. So they lined up to talk, a whole bunch of them. And the first person demanded that they unincorporate. And then they started reading President Trump's Declaration of Independence. And they started reading it 3 minutes at a time. And then I could sit up here and read it very quickly, and it's going to take me 20-25 minutes to read it to you all. Okay? So imagine a whole line of people, 3 minutes at a time. Somebody reads the first section, passes to the next guy, and they read. And they did this meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, taken up all the time. And then the towns and the counties weren't getting any of their business done. And they were being forced to listen to people. And imagine 150 people doing it. Literally scheduling their time for every town meeting, every county commissioner meeting. Oregon, Southern Oregon, did the same thing in Jackson County, and the county dissolved their corporations, and they kicked the power of the state of Oregon out of their counties.
Wow.
Governor Kate Brown, what a piece of work she was. I used to have a t-shirt that says, "My governor's an idiot." And the Oregon symbol is the O in idiot. And she was mandating all this COVID crap and forcing all these businesses into bankruptcy and foreclosure. And I mean, they were hard on people. You guys and in Texas wouldn't even understand this kind of hard. She was sending every state agency that there is out to businesses that weren't compliant. She was getting the counties to send their agencies. She was getting the cities to send their agencies by. And these businesses were starting to scream. And I think there was going to be an uprising. So we had a big meeting, and I told them this very thing. And they started going to their city meetings and into their county meetings and to demand that they dissolve the corporations, that they're not going to put up with it, that they're not going to wear a stinking mask. And then the people started suing the businesses that were forcing them to wear a mask, the ones that weren't the small mom and pop shops. Oh gosh, did Whole Foods get it? Okay. Our guys were suing them for $75,000 a pop, and they were winning. They were taking Whole Foods into court over and over and over again. Every time they'd walk in the store, so they'd walk in 6 at a time without masks. Oregonians are tough. You think it's a big liberal state? No, that's only Portland. That's only Portland. Portland's not part of Oregon. We disowned it. The rest of Oregon is about as conservative as you can get. In fact, if you're east of the Cascades, the mountains, mountain range that cuts the state in half, you're east of there, the only Biden sign you would ever see, or the only Hillary sign you would ever see, are the ones with a noose around it hanging from a tree. Well, they put nooses around the signs. Just take them from somebody's yard, put a noose around the sign hanging from a tree. Trump signs are everywhere. Okay. So, I'm telling you, very, very conservative state, except for keep 401 weird.